Hello and welcome, as always, to Forgotten Temples with myself, Mr. B. Now then, this is the most amazing path I've ever trodden, and I'm not one for hyperbole. I don't do these things for clicks, for goodness sake. But firstly, let me explain where this path is. I am deep in the jungle of the Kiln Mountains. Now, here was once a city of the great king Jayavarman. That city was abandoned many centuries ago, and in this jungle there are a few temples. Getting to them is unbelievably difficult and dangerous because, unfortunately, after the Khmer Rouge was here, this place was proliferated with landmines. It has already destroyed 2 parts of my equipment just today, so I'm limping along to make these films for you. But let's go back to the beginning. Why is this path here the most amazing path I've ever trod? Well, let me just bend down. I've just picked these up. They're at my feet. You see this? You see how it's curved? This is ancient pottery, and it is everywhere. I mean, literally, the whole floor is strewn with it. And this piece here that I've just spotted glistening, can you see? The sun is, the gods are doing their thing again. I want a bit of sun to show the glisten, and the sun appears. Isn't that amazing? But this is glazed. It's different to the others. And don't think the pieces are just small. When I was walking up there to do this intro shot, there's this giant piece here. There is literally tons of it. So I am walking where an ancient kiln was. There would have been huge fires, men sweating away in this incredibly humid jungle and creating these wondrous pots and plates and all sorts of things. Moving on from that incredible path, we walk through the jungle, and it's worthy just to stop for a moment when you see a magnificent king of the jungle such as this tree. Isn't that absolutely spectacular? And you may have noticed something else in the frame, because have a look here. Can you see this small shrine, this small altar? Well, that's something I've just got to show you. It is here, deep in the jungle of this abandoned city in the middle of Asia, we find a shrine. And it is, to all extensive purposes, to those ancient workmen. That huge mound of pottery that has made, quite simply, its own small hill. And do you know what's absolutely wonderful about this? Is we can see not only how delicate the art is. Have a look at these beautiful cones. These would have gone atop of a wall, or, you know, at the corners of a tower, something like that. And they are perfectly smooth. And they have been in this jungle for nigh on 1,000 years. But we must treat them with reverence. So we place them back in their original position. But to me, there's something even more important. Because what was cast aside by those ancients now tells a wonderful story of its own. Here in Cambodia, we see brick kilns, very much as they would have done in medieval days. You know, just piles of wood, and, you know, the same way they make charcoal, you know, just a big pile, and it smoulders away forever. Now, the problem with that is, if that internal fire gets out of control and just raises by a few degrees too many, the whole lot is ruined. And that's what happened over 1,000 years ago. You see, because what we see here, and I do hope you can see this, is there's one pot here, there's another layer here, and there's a third here. Now these two are hopefully more distinctive. If I can get the light on them, you see, 1, 2, 3. And what has happened is these have fused together because they got it wrong. But their mistake is our reward. I mean, this is absolutely beautiful. And on the inside, can you see? Come on, son, do you think? Look at that, you see. You ask the gods and they respond, don't they? There is a single beam of light coming through the canopy like a spotlight on this to say, look, you know, let me do my thing. Thank you so much. And what you can see there is the shine of it. Because these were glazed. They were in what I believe, from what I know about pottery, is this was the final process. This was the glazing process. And it's gone wrong, hasn't it? But it's here with us all these centuries later. Look at it glistening. Isn't that marvellous? You may remember that tree on the left there, because it's only round the corner we need to come as I continue my journey. And look. Just look at this. This is history. Allow me to show you it. Right, it's this kind of thing that gets me truly excited, because it is here we can actually touch what the ancient touched. It's very nice seeing their temples and so on, but to me it is getting into contact with their daily lives. Now, due to 2 pieces of equipment failing, I'm just basically precariously balancing a camera, but what I can do is bring stuff closer to you. I mean, have a look at this. This is obviously the lid of a pot. This would have sat with pride on a lady's dresser, or maybe it had scent in it, maybe it had precious herbs. And we could see the detailing. Look at it. This is ancient. And it's just here. And this is the blessing of doing what I do. It is not proliferated with tourists. But we have a duty, don't we? Put things back and show some respect. This here would have been part of a, is it a balustrade, I believe they're called, that goes in a window. So you'd have a few of these in a window. And do you know what? To this very day, they carve them in exactly the same form. So what we're looking at here is household goods. To hold these in one's hand, the only word is magical. So it is here, deep in this jungle in Asia, we see the remnants of a lost civilization. And just walking around, it keeps doing it. I mean, have a look at this. This is no small piece, and we can tell by the curve this would have been the top, and it would have been very much like those Roman ampules, I believe they were called, that held liquid. But we can see how big they were. And again here we have a slimmer pot which would have been like this, almost like a large vase. But it's these pieces that I like, because yet again we find a piece that really annoyed someone. Because look, and in case you didn't catch it before, this is a very good example. We have 1, 2, 3 layers all fused together. You see, I can get my finger in there, because what happened was the fire got a bit out of control. Maybe somebody, you know, wasn't paying attention. Maybe it was their first day on the job. Isn't that something to think? This was his first day on the job and he got really upset and embarrassed. But guess what? I'm holding on to this thing like I'm holding on to a Gutenberg Bible, one of the first Bibles ever printed, because it is such a wonderful relic of the past. You can touch the past in this jungle. Wow. Wow. I love this place. Well, this has been Mr. B of Forgotten Temples as always. And as always, I ask you to like, subscribe and comment. And until next time, I ask you, please take the very best care.